Welcome back to module 6 of your unit 1, that is data analysis, and we would be talking about how to find out percentages and cumulative frequency in this module. We have already talked about a frequency distribution table in our previous modules, and we know how to construct a frequency distribution table based on raw data that has been collected. Now this was one data set that we had considered here. This was the cost of meals in those 50 restaurants in Mumbai, and we had put this into this table, okay, ranging from 10 to 80, classes were 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. Now, in case you need some additional information based on this frequency distribution table, now this what this number of restaurants here represents is the frequency. So what we mean is between 20 to 30 rupees, 20 to 30, there are 5 restaurants. Between 40 to 50, there are 10 restaurants. So we have the number of restaurants in each of this cost category. In case you need some additional information in terms of percentages, let's say for example, I'm interested in finding out what percent of restaurants give their meal for rupees 30 to 40 or say 20 to 30. What is the percentage of restaurants which gives us meal for rupees 20 to 30? So I'm not really looking at the value 5, but I'm looking at the value in terms of percentage. Now how do I find out the percentage? The number of restaurants is 5 out of 50. So the percentage is 5 divided by 50 multiplied by 100, and you will get 10. So you will get 10%. So you will say 10% of the restaurants give meal for rupees 20 to 30. The same way, what percent of restaurants give their meal for 40 to 50? If you want to do that, what you will do is you will look at this number, the frequency, 10 divided by the total. So 10 divided by 50 multiplied by 100. You will get 20%. So this is 10%, this is 20%. So you have 20%. So this is how you find out the percentage in case you have a frequency distribution table, and you will get a table something like this. So number of restaurants are here, and these are the percentages. We already talked about how to find out the percentages. So for each of this class I have the percentages here. That means there are 2% of restaurants which give their meal for rupees 10 to 20. 18% of the restaurants give their meal for 30 to 40, and so on. Now in this case the benefit of using percentage may not be very clear, but in case you are talking about a frequency distribution table wherein the frequencies are very high or the variable itself takes a very large values, in that case this percentage becomes very handy. So looking at percentage itself as your like your frequencies, then you can draw those various graphs by using those percentage values. So this is an example of a percentage bar graph. So we had earlier drawn a bar graph for frequency, so that was more like a frequency bar graph. The same way we can have a percentage bar graph, or you can have a percentage line graph, or you can have a percentage histogram. So all those graphs that we have drawn earlier for frequencies, the same can, depending on the need, depending on what you are trying to do, it can be drawn for the percentage values itself. Say for examples, you may have a percentage bar graph, a percentage frequency curve, a subdivided percentage bar graph, or a percentage pie chart in case you want to distribute the entire 100% in many categories. Like we saw in the previous module, the cost of construction of a house, total 100% was divided in terms of percentages depending on the category. So there it was more like a percentage pie chart, and so on. Now there are some things that you need to keep in mind in case the percentages are involved. It is important to always present the totals from which the percentages are calculated. So whenever you are presenting percentages, you should always, in that table, you should always mention even the frequency values or the values from which those percentages are calculated. If there are only percentages that have been presented in a table, then that is something which does not give us a clear idea of what the data is or how it has been calculated, and so on. When there are percentages involved, you have to see whether the percentages are calculated from small or large sample. Okay, because this is also going to be very important. Suppose you say 10% of the people in Goa are alcoholics. In that case, making a statement, just a statement saying that 10% of Goans are alcoholic is not enough. You have to make sure that you tell what is the total that was been examined. If you say out of 1000, 10% were found alcoholic, and suppose you say out of 10% were alcoholic, then both these they have a different significance in terms of the impact of the study. If the sample size is very small, then there is no point in finding percentages. If there are only percentages which are cited in your table or for any study, then there is a serious problem with the presentation of the study. So you have to make sure that the totals are also presented along with the percentages. In case you are trying to round and then add or subtract percentages, then there are again some serious implications of that. So you should never be rounding and adding or subtracting percentages. You should add or subtract, and then at the most you can round it, but never before adding and subtract you are rounding a percentage. Now when we prefer percentages is when the figures in the data sample are very large for any observations to make. Let's say for example, if you are looking at GDP values or the foreign exchange or for foreign reserves, then these values are going to be very large in terms of say billions, trillions, and which are difficult to compare. So it is best to find out the percentages and then look at whatever information that you are trying to look at. In case you want to look at the relative changes in the values, this is also when we want to look at, we prefer percentages. Whenever you want to compare two different data sets with different units, suppose you want to compare something with which is in terms of dollars with respect to something which is in terms of rupees. Now you cannot have a direct comparison. So what you do is you convert them in terms of percentages, get rid of the units, and then you can very well compare. So different data units needs to be compared, then also we prefer percentages. This is about percentage. The next what we talk about is cumulative frequencies. So we go back to the frequency distribution table that we had earlier. This was the variable, the cost of meals, and the number of restaurants. This was the data in case of the city of Mumbai. Now we will talk about how to calculate cumulative frequencies first, and the cumulative frequencies we are talking about the less than type. Okay, so let me start with the first class here. Now 10 to 20, the frequency is 1. What I mean by that is there is one restaurant which gives a meal for rupees 10 to 20. Okay, between 10 to 20, and this 20 is not included here, it is included in the next class. So you can very well say that there is one restaurant which gives meal for less than rupees 20. There are 5 restaurants which gives you meal for rupees 20 to 30. Okay, more than 20, less than 30. Now suppose I want to ask you a question. How many restaurants give meal for less than rupees 30? Now I'm just saying less than rupees 30. When I say less than rupees 30, it includes the one which are between 20 to 30 and 10 to 20 as well. Okay. So I'm looking at all the collective. So less than 30 are all this 5 and this restaurant as well. Okay. So when we want to answer questions of this type, suppose I want to find out how many restaurants serve meal for less than rupees 50. Now when I say less than rupees 50, this will include all these restaurants. These are all the restaurants which give their meal for rupees less than 50. Even 10 to 20 is less than 50. 20 to 30 is also less than 50. So if you have to answer how many restaurants give their meal for rupees less than 50, then I have to basically add each of these values. Okay. So the way we calculate cumulative frequency, you start with the first value here, that is 1. To this 1, then you add this 5. So 1 plus 5 will get 6. I am getting this 6 as 1 plus 5. Then the next value is 6 plus the next frequency value. So this 6 plus 9 will get 15. This comes as 6 plus 9. Then this value 15 that you have got, add it to the next frequency, that is 10. So 15 plus 10 you will get 25. This 25 then you add to the next frequency value, 25 plus 15 you will get 40. Then this 40 you add to the next frequency value, 40 plus 7 you will get 47. Next value is 47 plus 3 you will get 50. This is the last class, and the last value that you will get will be the total frequency that you are looking at. So this is how you calculate less than type cumulative frequencies. Now what do I mean by each of this value is, when I look at 25 here, I mean that there are 25 restaurants which give their meal for rupees less than 50. So when I am looking at less than cumulative frequencies, I am referring to these upper limits 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I am looking at these values here. These values are the total values which are less than the upper limit in that class. So there are 40 values which are less than 60. There are 47 values which are less than 70. That means there are 47 restaurants which give their meal for less than rupees 70, and so on. This is the meaning of cumulative frequencies. So this is the table that we got. These are the cumulative frequencies that we found out. So this is helpful when you want to answer questions like this. Suppose I say, how many restaurants have offer meal for less than rupees 50? So how many restaurants offer meal for rupees less than 50? It is 25. Then I want to say, ask, how many restaurants offer meal between rupees 30 to rupees 70? Now rupees 30 to 70. So what you have to do is, now 30 to 40 are this, 40 to 50 are this, 50 to 60, and 60 to 70. These are all the restaurants which are giving meal for rupees between 30 to 70. So basically you have to add this. So instead of adding this, what you have to do is, you have to just look at 47 minus 6. That is going to be 41. So it is going to be 41. So what I did was, I looked at 70, the cumulative frequency, and I am looking at all the values which are more than 30. So I go back the previous row and I look at 6, and this 41 that I got is 47 minus 6, that is 41. Even if you add this, you will get the same value. 9 plus 10 is 19, plus 15 is 34, plus 7 is 41. So these are the advantages of cumulative frequencies. When you have a large frequency table, then there is no need to manually add all the frequencies. You can just look at the values here in the column of cumulative frequencies and you can answer that question. The same way, if I go to this question, what percent of restaurants offer meal for rupees less than 60? Okay, now this question is only in terms of percentage. So first I'll look at how many restaurants offer meal for rupees less than 60. So to look at less than 60, I look at 40. So there are 40 restaurants which offer meal for rupees less than 60. Because I want percentage, I'll divide 40 by 50. 40 divided by 50 multiplied by 100, and I'll get 80%. So I'll say there are 80% restaurants which offer meal for rupees less than 60. Now note that when I'm looking at less than cumulative frequencies, I'm referring to the upper limit, only the upper limits. We are looking at how many values are less than the upper limit. So this cumulative frequencies may not be useful to answer questions of this type. Suppose I say how many restaurants offer meal for rupees 40 or more. Basically I am trying to answer how many restaurants give their meal for more than rupees 40. In that case, now I am looking at the lower limit. Now this is when less than cumulative frequencies is not going to be useful. Now for this we will need something called as more than cumulative frequencies. So like how I have less than cumulative frequencies, I also have more than cumulative frequencies. To find out more than cumulative frequencies, what you do is you start with the last row. Now we are looking at the lower limits. So we are basically looking at how many values are more than this lower limits. So there are 3 restaurants which are between 70 to 30. So we are basically saying that there are 3 restaurants which give meal for rupees more than 70. So we start with the last row 3, and now we add this 3 to 7. I'll get 10. This 10 I got as 3 plus 7. This plus this. The next value is this 10 plus the next frequency, that is 15. So this I add here. I'll get 25. So this is 10 plus 15. The next value is 25 plus 10, 35. 35 plus 9, we get 44. 44 plus 5 is 49, and 49 plus 1 is 50. This is the total frequency. So this is how you find out more than cumulative frequency. You start from the last row. Now what we mean by the more than cumulative frequencies, now we are looking at the lower limits. So there are 50 restaurants which give you meal for more than rupees 10. There are 49 restaurants which give you meal for more than rupees 20. There are 25 restaurants which serve you which give you meal for more than rupees 50, and so on. For more than cumulative frequencies, we look at the lower limits, and for less than cumulative frequencies, we look at the upper limits. That is the only difference. Otherwise, all those questions that we tried to answer earlier, they can also be answered. Like we wanted to find out in the previous slide, how many restaurants give their meal for more than rupees 40. Now more than rupees 40 is 35. So the answer to that question is 35. There are 35 restaurants which give meal for rupees more than 40. So in case I try to draw a frequency curve, now these are the less than type cumulative frequencies. We already talked about how to calculate this. If you want to put this into a graph, a frequency curve, we already know how to do that. So this is how you will draw a y-axis, you will draw x-axis, and depending on each of this value 1, 6, 15. So you will mark 1, 6, 15. Next is 25, next is 40, 40 is here, then 47 is here, and next is 50. So I mark these points and I join them using a frequency curve. Okay. This graphical representation of less than cumulative frequencies is called as an ogive, and this is an ogive for less than cumulative frequency. So we call it as ogive or less than type, or a less than type ogive. So this ogive will help us in finding the change in the increase in the values cumulatively. Like if you see the number of COVID cases, they are usually given as a cumulative frequency distribution. That is an ogive. COVID is the best example to represent as an ogive. They always give you the cumulative. Yesterday the cases were 40. Today the cases are 42,000, that is plus 2,000. The next day it is 45,000. So they always give you the cumulative values, and that is how the graph is looked at. So same like how I have less than type ogive, I can also have a more than type ogive. So here I am looking at more than type frequencies. We talked about in the previous slides. So if I want to draw a frequency curve for this, then the frequency curve will look like this: 10 to 20. So 10 to 20 it is 50. The first value is 50. Next value is 49. So I mark 49. Next is 44. I mark 44. 35. Then is 25. Then it is 10, and then it is 3. So I am marking these points and I am joining them like a frequency curve. So this is called as an ogive, which is more than type, or it is basically the frequency curve for more than type frequency distributions. Thank you.